All right, so if you guys already saw my video yesterday, I talked about Jimmy Dore going off on Alexandria Ocasio Cortez because she endorsed Andrew Cuomo for governor. She said, while she was on CNN, she said, we need to rally behind all Democrats, including the governor, which obviously was referring to Andrew Cuomo. And Jimmy Dore absolutely ripped into Alexandria Ocasio Cortez for that. He got really angry. Now he made a few claims, and I talked about those, and I will go in depth with them again in this video. But essentially, he says that she shouldn't have endorsed him, which I agree with, and then he makes a claim that I disagree with. Now, we have Kyle Kulinski, who did a Secular Talking Smack, and someone asked him about this. And I think that it's pretty important to look at this because it's most definitely vital for the progressive movement moving forward. So let's actually see what Kyle had to say about what Jimmy Dore had stated.
You guys ready for this? Watch this.
What I also look forward to moving forward is us rallying behind all Democratic nominees, including the governor, to make sure that he wins in November.
She's a Democrat, so she has to tell everybody that Andrew Cuomo is the answer. There is no progressive takeover of the Democratic Party. Do you need any? What the F? And when Bernie said he was calling for a revolution, he wasn't being truthful. That was just a gimmick. He's not being truthful. He won't come on this show and talk about it. Bernie won't even come on the show. He'll do any interview with anybody if you said you voted for Hillary. But if you didn't, Bernie won't come near you. That's the opposite of political courage. When he went from filling stadiums, when he decided to back Hillary Clinton, he couldn't fill a gymnasium after that. So I thought Alexandria Ocasio was any blue just won't do. I saw her with Lena Turner just the other day saying any blue just won't do. Well, if fucking Andrew Cuomo isn't any blue just won't do, who are you talking about? Andrew, so any blue just won't do until it has to?
What do you think of Jimmy Dore saying that taking over the Democratic Party is useless? I don't know if he said that, but if he did say that, I don't agree with that. I've talked about this before. I'm in favor of an all-the-above approach. I'll vote for people on the left wherever they happen to be. I don't care if they're in the Green Party. I don't care if they're an independent. I don't care if they're in some weird new third party that nobody's ever heard of. I'll vote for people who are populist left no matter where they fall. And I think to rule out voting for progressives if they happen to be within the Democratic Party, I don't think that's a good idea. I disagree with that completely. Big fan, Kyle. What do you think about Jimmy Dore's video discussing Andrew Gillum and Alexandria Ocasio Cortez playing ball with Cuomo and Booker? I honestly don't trust Gillum at all anymore after what you guys have said. Well, listen, I never really trusted Gillum. I just pointed out the fact that he was the best available option in the race. But that doesn't mean I trust him. That doesn't mean I trust him. Because he supported Hillary over Bernie in the primary, which tells me he's a careerist. Because he thought there's no way that Hillary's going to lose, because that's what all the conventional wisdom was. So he wasn't going to blow his future career by supporting Bernie. So he supported Hillary. But Bernie is a nice enough guy and an open-hearted enough guy to say, hey, if I could convince Gillum to be in favor of my policy proposals, then I will actively campaign for Gillum while Hillary's doing nothing. So that's what happened. Gillum became more of a Bernie-type character when he realized, oh, this is where the momentum in the party is, and I'll get Bernie support if I do it. So I never really trusted Gillum, and when you see him in a video with Cory Booker, your fears are basically come true. Like, okay, he may be better than a standard corporate Democrat, but he's still got a streak of corporatism in him and careerism in him. So he's better than the other available options. That's the reality, but that doesn't mean he's good, and that doesn't mean you shouldn't take your guard down. Now, as far as Alexandria Ocasio Cortez goes, yeah, if I was advising her, I would have said, don't endorse Cuomo. What are you doing? If you're going to fucking endorse him, at the very least, extract stuff from him. You got to remember, we have the people power on our side because we are for the popular policies. You don't need him. He needs you. He needs to genuflect at your altar. You don't need to genuflect at his altar. And if he doesn't genuflect at your altar, you know what you say? I'm not saying anything. I'm staying out of the race. You just won't get my endorsement. But instead, to say, oh, I'm going to support him without getting any extractions from him and promises of progressive policy, what you're doing is you're saying blue no matter who, which is not correct. That's a terrible idea, because then they're going to keep getting away with what they want to get away with, which is being rank corporatist neoliberals. So I don't agree with her on that strategy. But having said that, do I agree with people who go too far and say, oh my God, this means that she's a sellout? No, she's not a sellout. Are you kidding me? She's right on all the issues, and I think that's what's most important. And I don't agree with people who say, oh, this means the takeover of the Democratic Party isn't even worth it. Because we have 26 Justice Democrats who have advanced, which is a win rate of about 30%. You have Our Revolution and PCCC, who have a 50% win rate and a 67% win rate, respectively. So the idea that the takeover of the Democratic Party from the left is not working is just not true. We've made gigantic gains. And to poo-poo that is wrong, because it's just factually inaccurate. So you can't expect a full takeover when we haven't even had a general election yet since the 2016 election. We've had a handful of special elections and we've had primaries. We did well in the primaries. So to poo-poo it is a bad idea. But I disagree with Alexandria Ocasio Cortez. I would have told her you need to get extractions from Andrew Cuomo.
All right, so if you had seen my video from yesterday, I had basically stated that I agreed with Jimmy Dore about what he said when it came to Alexandria Ocasio Cortez endorsing Andrew Cuomo. I definitely thought that she should not have endorsed Cuomo, especially not that early, because it just didn't make any sense. But if you don't know anything about Andrew Cuomo, which you should by now, he is a textbook corrupt politician. He is extremely, insanely corrupt, by the way. Just massive corruption. There were the Winklevoss twins who donated to his campaign, and then after he got elected, they suddenly just magically approved their cryptocurrency. Whoa, what a coincidence. I wonder how that happened. So I came here and I said, AOC, Alexandria Ocasio Cortez, should not have endorsed Andrew Cuomo, because Andrew Cuomo, Jimmy Dore really brought his receipts, because Jimmy Dore showed the article where basically he said, the progressive wave was not even a ripple in the party, and, said, we need pragmatists to actually get stuff done, which is a horrendous road to go down. And the supposed liberal states of New York and California are voting for douchebags like Andrew Cuomo and Dianne Feinstein, which is horrendous, unbelievable. But there is no doubt that she should not have endorsed him, because we really, there's no reason to endorse him. There's no need to endorse him, first of all. But number two, he really doesn't deserve the endorsement by any stretch of the imagination. Does he actually deserve the endorsement? He completely flipped off the progressive movement. He flipped off the progressives, and he just absolutely just punched right in the gut. A punch right in the gut to the progressive movement. 100% punch right to the gut of the progressive movement. And, he doesn't deserve an endorsement by AOC. Just no stretch of the imagination does he actually deserve an endorsement from Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, because he's super corrupt, he's a complete dick to progressives, and therefore he didn't deserve an endorsement. Now here's the thing. The thing is that I feel like people expect Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez to be like this god progressive figure in terms of just being perfect, like 100% perfect in being a congressional candidate is what she is right now, who's a nominee, when she has no political experience prior to this. So pretending like she's not going to make mistakes along the way is a really bad thing. This I want to say like trust or idea that she's going to be perfect. No one is perfect, first of all, but especially someone who doesn't have any political experience prior to this that we're talking about now. So it doesn't make sense to do that. It makes zero sense. It is stupid. It's just completely stupid. It doesn't make any fucking sense. But the thing is that Jimmy lost me. He ended up losing me, because he goes on to basically shit on the Democratic Party takeover by progressives, pretending as if we now don't have more representation in Congress for actual progressive ideals. As Kyle stated, and I stated yesterday, there were a shit ton of Justice Democrats who won. They're literally making history with getting people in of races and ethnic backgrounds that have never gotten in before. They're literally making history books. Seriously, history books. They're going to be in the history books. They're getting a fuck ton of candidates in. A bunch of those candidates, by the way, are people who are going to win because they're either unopposed or it's just a solid blue state, or district like Alexandria Ocasio Cortez's district. So we already know that they're going to actually win. Now, it's just, you have to realize that this takeover is not going to happen in 2 seconds. And if, like I said yesterday, if you go back to watch my videos talking about the Justice Democrats when they were first founded, because I spoke about them a lot, I wasn't even sure if they were going to get one representative in. They already have 3 sitting representatives, and on top of that, they now have a shit ton of them going in. So it has been an unbelievable success on the part of Justice Democrats and progressives. There's literally not even been 2 years since the last midterm, and you're expecting this to somehow become every single governmental, position is now Bernie Sanders. That's not going to happen. It's not realistic. It's not smart. It's not logical. And to take a sledgehammer and just destroy the attempts to take over the Democratic Party, which in my opinion is by far the best way to go about it, is stupid. It's not smart. It really isn't smart. So what we need to do moving forward is we get these people in office who are Justice Democrats. They're going to push progressive ideals. They're going to support Medicare for all, getting money out of politics, free college education, etc., etc. And then when the next election comes up, we do the same thing and we keep pushing, we keep moving. So we keep pushing, we keep moving, and as time goes on, there's going to be more and more of a coalition in the House of Representatives and hopefully in the Senate. So we'll start to have a serious coalition, and then as the movement continues to grow, it will continue to grow, and hopefully Bernie Sanders runs for president, because if he does, he's going to win. And so this is just an illogical thing to think about, and I think that trying to take this sledgehammer to the progressive takeover of the Democratic Party is something that doesn't make any sense in the first place, because there's already been so much progress made. And just because of this one little endorsement that really doesn't have much of an effect in the overall scheme of things, because what does it mean? You think Andrew Cuomo is going to lose to a Republican in New York for a governor race? It's New York. It's a super blue state. He's not going to lose. So in the grand scheme of things, this is not like a make or break thing, because this isn't something that's going to... Alexandria Ocasio Cortez is going to go into Congress as a Democrat. She's going to win, obviously, super blue district. And she's going to advocate for and she's going to support real progressive ideas, whether it be, the Medicare for all bill that Bernie Sanders has proposed, the version in the House, whether it's going to be free college education, etc., living wage in every state. She's going to support those issues, and that's really what matters. So to just take a sledgehammer and just be like a big fuck you to all of that, especially all the other Justice Democrats who have won and who are going to do the same thing, that is very, very illogical, and I just think it's legitimately, it's very renegade-like, and I don't understand it. Why would you want to do that? You should want the increase of progressives in Congress, because this is how a movement grows. He makes it seem as if there's going to be this magical, just like, complete takeover within 2 seconds. There's going to be a massive progressive wave. And so I have to agree with Kyle here. I had already stated my points in the video when I talked about what Jimmy said, where I agreed with him that she should not have endorsed Andrew Cuomo, but then he went on to lose me, because he said, we need a third party and, fuck the Democratic Party. No, that's not the way to go about it, dude. We've already made a shit ton of progress. You haven't even given enough time to sprout yet, despite all of the overachieving that has been done by Justice Democrats. Again, I can't state that enough. First of all, they're literally making history. But second of all, they have barely had any time, and I didn't even know if they were going to get one representative in office. I mean, the Green Party has been so ineffective in that front that getting these Justice Democrats through looks like a miracle compared to that. They look like they're running marathons, like slapping them hard. And so, again, I didn't even know if they were going to get one representative. They already have 3 sitting representatives, and now they've already won so many different races in areas where it's already solid blue, so we already know they're going to win. And come on, Jimmy. I mean, I really don't agree with that. And I think that the Democratic Party takeover is underway. It's going to take more time to fully build a coalition, but to just take a sledgehammer and just, hit AOC with that and be like, fuck you because you did this meaningless endorsement. No, that's not what that's not what you should do. I mean, you're probably going to do it anyways, but no, man, that definitely is not what you should do. I don't agree with that. And I think that the Democratic Party takeover is going well. Ocasio-Cortez made a mistake, a slight one that doesn't have much of an effect on anything. And there's no reason to just completely become a renegade because of it.